Gotta stay on my grind and get my money right. Gotta make sure me and my brothers hustle through the night. Me and my niggas, we gon' swing, we gon' blow that pipe. Hop out on your block with thunder clapping when we make it strike. Hop on feet, hop out, give 'em smoke, gon' be a candle.
So Kunta, man, when I look at a lot of these comments and I see a lot of the talk, right? A lot of people, they just associate you with cripping, gang banging, and there's so much more to you. And yeah, I know for a little bit this was something you had to stand on. This is something that a lot of people don't understand, but there's more to it. So, man, I want to ask you, what is the narrative?
What is the narrative? That's a very profound question. First of all, what is my narrative? That's what I'm gonna say. First of all, my narrative is simple. I'm here to bring change. I mean, I'm gonna put on my revolutionary glasses so people can see me clearly, you know. I guess people got the wrong idea, you know, because you hear me speaking about something that could basically turn chaotic, you know what I'm saying? And most people are not looking at the silver lining of what this really, you know, entails when you with the continuation of a self-destructive behavior, you know. You force the unseen hand, you know, basically. You force the unseen hand to take matters into its own hands, you know. A lot of these young brothers are under a misconception about Kunta. My name means resistance. My name means I refused to submit. You know, my name means revolution. My name does not mean anything other than that. I am the roots of revolution. So you ask the narrative of me, I'm here to save, you know. I'm here to change, you know. I'm here to show reform, you know. A lot of brothers, you know, they get on these airwaves and they say, well, Kunta, you know, what do you really stand for? Number one, I stand with God. I stand with the Creator, you know, the infinite intelligence, you know. Secondly, as a man, I'm a man, you see, before I'm anything else, you see. I've grown to be a man, you know. I had to be on the streets, you know, in the streets. I became one with the streets. And that, the jewel that come from becoming one with the streets, granted me my rights of passage to become a man, you know. I take care of mine. I make sure what needs to be done will be done, no matter what. And as a man, you know, that's my narrative. I'm standing 10 toes down as a man in my community in the city of Fort Worth, saying that enough is enough with the violence. Enough is enough with the senseless killing. Enough is enough of the misdirection of our youth, you know. We got our YNs out here basically thinking it's okay not to listen, you know. People ask me what my narrative is. My narrative is I'm concerned, you know, for the moral fiber. I have concern for the moral fiber of this entire city. I'm not just here just to be talking, you know. And when people see me on here with people, y'all miss the overlay and fall for the underplay. All of you scumbags, and I mean this and I say this at the bottom of my being, when y'all get on here and y'all make y'all so-called comments about what y'all think is going on, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And one thing I've proven right here on Unique Perspective is that Kunta knows people. So when you see these people up here, ask yourself why they not with some of these people who claim to know them. Ask yourself that question, you know, why y'all always have something negative to say about somebody who's standing on something that's very positive, you know. A lot of times I get on here and I try to explain things because that's the purpose of Unique Perspective. We are here to be the voice of the streets. We're here to be the voices of the Fort Worth music community, you see. So that's why I'm on here. You ask me what my narrative is. I see that we never had a major deal here, maybe once, and it was done by somebody that's on our team. You know, I ain't even got to say no names, but he know who he is. You know, he made a power move that turned, you know, sour because certain individuals didn't do what they were supposed to do. You know, chose the streets. You know, because the narrative is this also with me. I'm here to tell people, to the youngsters that, hey, if you're going to be a rapper, be a rapper. The streets and rap, the rap career, they don't mix. A lot of you little brothers, y'all need to get serious about y'all music and stay the hell up out of these streets. Because only thing on these streets is chaos and trouble. I'm here to clean the streets up. I need help doing that. I need help from all the big homies, especially in the city of Fort Worth. I need help from everyone to clean these streets up. We've lost control of everything. And y'all ask me, what's the narrative? What's my narrative? Well, let me give you the narrative of the YNs. The YNs are lost. The YNs are being dragged on into slavery and hell. And we're content with so many young men throwing their lives away over an ideal that should have been defeated with the moral strength of our collective whole. Certain ideas should have been defeated because they represent a genocidal narrative. So I say this to you youngsters, you young brothers, y'all gonna have to make a choice. Either you're gonna be 24, 100% street, or you're gonna be 100% about your career, which is rap music. You little brothers are at the fork in the road, and y'all better really choose this path wisely. You can't split your legs and walk on both sides of the street, homie. It don't work like that. You're gonna have to choose which side of the street you're gonna walk on. And I advise y'all brothers to consider your careers over the streets. The streets has done nothing for anyone but send everyone either to jail or to their grave, or other miserable forms of existence, such as wheelchairs, you know, life support, you know. The streets is very dangerous and they serious. And a lot of these little brothers that's thinking that the streets is the way, it's not. It's not the way. And I'm here as somebody who lived on the streets for a long period of time, pretty much all my life. And I can safely say to you youngsters, man, that's not a wise decision to choose the streets. Be rappers, be doctors, be lawyers, you know, be whatever you want to be, but the streets ain't it. And y'all ask me what the narrative is. What's the narrative with our police? Are they not corrupt? Are they not running through the streets, people just because of the color of their skin? Are they not doing this? Am I the only one seeing black people being killed and 90% of the time they're unarmed? And y'all have the right to give these guys immunity from prosecution? I don't understand that. I really do not understand the so-called powers that be and how y'all can make such a disrespect to constitutional rights. You see, you've given a license to you murderers. So it's okay for the police to be murderers. I think that was a very bad decision that needs to be reversed for it starts something that's very anarchic. Civil strife will only come from such a hasteful decision. Civil strife. If y'all do not change this law, y'all will cause a great separation in this country, because no one is gonna sit here and let y'all give these cops license to be savage butchers, because it's already a problem now. Before they even had immunity, they was already running through the streets, unarmed black people. They've already been doing this. So y'all giving them admonition to even more black people. Is this what I see? And why is this? This is directly to you, Trump. You know, I mean, we're good friends, bro. I love you and I respect your movements. But to give the cops diplomatic immunity, that's just like making it, it's like making it okay for the people who put you under arrest to never be prosecuted. I don't think that's a good idea, Trump. How did you feel when you were arrested? Don't you know, I know that the people who did that to you were scumbags and they were treasonous and they done something very disrespectful to the American people by putting you, our president, through such a dishonorable ideal of the so-called color of law. I never agreed with what they did to you, Trump. But I also do not agree on the decision you have made to give human beings immunity from prosecution. Humans are subject to error. We've been seeing the errors of the cops now for the last 30, 40, 50 years of them just basically racially profiling and maliciously black people. Trump, I say this to you, you know that this is a violation of the Klansman Act. To give the police immunity is a violation of the Klansman Act of 1871. You can't do that. You know that, Trump. I respect you, but you know what you have done is giving the license to kill, and that's not fair to the American people. You need to change that law, because you know what? Y'all have never scrutinized the police system for suspicion of Klansmen. How many times have y'all ran a screening procedure to see how many police officers are possibly connected to the Klan? Have y'all done that?
Yes.
So, how many times have y'all scrutinized the police system, purged it of the corruption of the Klan? Mr. Trump, I ask you, as wholeheartedly, literally, to reconsider that. And if that's the case, if you're going to give immunity of prosecution, then the humans don't need to be police. That job need to be given to robots who can be programmed not to kill human beings. You see? So if you're going to be that hasty and say that it's okay for humans to kill other humans, you have made a very, very bad decision about human existence. You're right here in this country. That was a very bad decision. And if you're going to go that far, then we don't need humans as cops. You know that. Elon Musk, you know that as well. We don't need human beings as police. I think things would be a lot more peaceful if cyber police, if cyborg police were instituted. I believe that the robots should be the cops, because why would a robot act out of protocol? And then if a robot kills someone, all we have to do is shut it down. You see? But y'all saying now that if a human kills of another human, y'all won't shut that human down. Y'all gotta make it make sense. And y'all ask me, what's the narrative? Make it make sense. Okay, let's move right along. Puff Daddy. What'd I say?
No, you said it. You said he was gonna get. You said he was either gonna get off or get a minimal charge.
Here we go again with Brother Puff Daddy. I really never spoke really, you know, against Puff Daddy, because, you know, I can't judge nobody because I don't know, you know. The world is full of monsters, you know, and Puff Daddy, if he is a monster, he's not the only one, you know. And, but he was one of the smartest monsters probably there ever was, because he had enough sense to have and collect enough filth on those people who he knew would someday try to come and get him, you see. So what happens is that's called the playhouse effect, you know. You cannot go into a playhouse and pull on a certain part of the playhouse because you may tear it all down. You can't pull on no parts of it because you don't know who built it, you see. So they didn't know that Puff Daddy built that playhouse. And guess what? They couldn't tear it down. Because guess what that would have done? It would have exposed too many important people. That's what it would have done if they told Puff Daddy's playhouse all the way down. So this was basically, you be a good little now. You hear me? Yeah. And y'all ask me, what's the narrative? Let's look at it. First of all, I want to say this also. Congratulations to my guy Trump. You know what I'm saying? Real life. Donald Trump, brother, you have done an outstanding job with things you've been, you know, stroking that pen. You know what I'm saying? And all the people that you have arrested. You know what I'm saying? All the people that you have placed under investigation and put on administrative leave. Trump needs to have. He has went in to the rabbit hole and pulled out a whole bunch of scumbags. He did. Trump, you've done a great job. You know, I just want to take my time out. You know, here at Unique Perspective, our platform, you know, we are 100% Trump supporters. Hey, Trump, man, you know, I don't know how you're going to do the next election, but I got a feeling that you're going to be president again. I do got a feeling that somehow you're going to be in the White House again. I believe that. Y'all can say what y'all want. Y'all can call Kunta cuz a conspiracy theorist. But I honestly think that Elon Musk is going to be president next year. I honestly think that. Y'all don't, you know, y'all heard it first here on Unique Perspective. I think Elon Musk will be president next year. I mean, not next year, but next election. Next president. During election, I believe Elon Musk will get in the presidential race. And I think he's had a great, he's been able to have a what would we call it? A meticulous look at, you know, all those White House files, you know. So he knows exactly what's going on. He's definitely kicked open a lot of those, and, you know, he's definitely showed how resourceful he is when it comes to finding the missing money and the missing gold. You know, they went way over there to the Nevada, you hear me? Yeah, they did. Elon, Trump, and all his forces went over there and they took all the gold from Nevada. Why the hell do you think an American Pope is there?
I'm from Chicago, I think.
I don't know, you know. Shout out to the American Pope. You know, I know he was put there by America after America went over there and got all the gold. Because you know what's, a lot of people don't know that the Vatican has been blackmailing America. You see, America's Egypt. America's a stolen land that was stole from the melanated people. You know, America was as a stolen land. It doesn't belong to the people who came off the boat with Christopher Columbus and his descendants. It doesn't belong to them. It belongs to the Aboriginal people of this land, you know. There was a big coup with that. I believe people were swapped position. You had people who migrated from Canada and Alaska. You had people who migrated from Canada and Alaska and they were brought here. You know, you got to look at the facts. You know, the hush money. You hear me? The hush money was the reservations that was given to these people as they were swapped out of position. You know, there was a swapping. See, a lot of people don't know that in about the first 1600s, maybe even the 1500s, there was a big deification of the indigenous people of this land. See, the biggest lie is that they said that we came from Africa, and we did not. The only people that came from that way are the Chinese people through the Spanish Inquisition. You see, there was no other people brought in ships. That was a coup. You see, because see, you tell somebody that they wave from over there, then they have no rights to the land that they standing on. That's the coup. But now we're gonna get a little deeper than that. You know, what's the narrative? Straight up. Why is it that right above us, what's the country name right above us, Drew?
It's Canada.
Canada. Ain't that kind of strange? What do they call America? The land of what? Milk, what?
They call it the land of the free.
Nah.
The land of the milk and honey.
There you go. You better know it. Ain't that kind of synonymous with the promised land of the children of Israel?
Right.
You know, King Tut's body was found here. King Tut's remains were found in America.
Wasn't it like the Grand Canyon area?
Yeah. Investigate Turtle Island, and you'll see the real Nile Valley. The real Nile Valley that's spoke of in the scriptures. It's Turtle Island, you know. But either way, you know, the coup, you know, when you take people, you steal their identity, you put other people in a position to where, okay, it's just a few of them. And they were saying, well, what happened to all the Indians? You hear me? You remember that? They said, what happened to all the Indians? What happened to all the Indians? Well, they didn't kill them off. That was a lie. They didn't kill off all the Indians. They swapped identities with them, you know. They turned the dark-skinned, melanated Indians into slaves. They were converted into slaves, and they were called Negroes then, you see. They were converted and their identity was stolen. And this how it is. This is what you know, the true children of Israel are the American melanated people. The people, we're the true children of Israel. Everybody want to play like, oh, it's this, it's that. Now we're finna get into these facts because now we're looking at why was Israel way over there and put there in 1947. People wonder why the dollar bill has a pyramid on it. They wonder, and they think, oh, that's because of Egypt. But where is Egypt? Where is Egypt? Egypt is right here. This is Egypt. This is the first Egypt. You know, Egypt has 29 dynasties. You hear me? And the first King Tut's remains was found here. So this gotta be the upper cataracts of Egypt, you see. But as it broke away from the Pangea, you know, and floated out, you know what I'm saying, into the, you know, ocean, it carried, because see, remember the scripture said about Moses taking the children of Israel to the land of milk and honey, right? Okay, this is the land of milk and honey. We know that, okay? Everybody say it now. Oh, this is America, the land of milk and honey. But the coup is, they stole the land of milk and honey from the children of Israel. What's that brother name? Gaddafi. Gaddafi say the Jews left black and they came back white. That's strange that he would say that and then he was murdered. But yeah, he said something very powerful. And I'm not saying this based off racism because I'm not a racist. I'm sitting here with my brother who is a Caucasian. I love him to death. I respect him. He respect me. But it is time for, you know, the light to be cut on, you know. We've been stumbling in America in the dark as second citizens, Just to imagine what history would have been like here for us if we would have known that we built the pyramids, you know what I'm saying? And that our forefathers, this is our land, you know what I'm saying? And we didn't come from Africa where, things were so primitive at, because, they basically, when you dehumanize a person, when you dehumanize another human being, this was what was said by, what's his name? George Washington. George Washington said that if we could get the children of Israel, we could take their turbans off their head, take their sandals off their feet, and take their language from them. In the next 200 years, they will not know who they really are. Okay? And we ask, what's the narrative? The narrative is that this is the truth, and this is what unique perspective. I challenge everyone to do some research. There are pyramids in the Grand Canyon. Why do you think 90% of the Grand Canyon cannot be explored right now by any individual who does not have governmental clearance? Okay, now let's get a little deeper. Noble supports what's wrote on the dollar? It says, our plan has been successful. What plan? Manifest destiny. What manifest destiny? Manifest destiny. Let's take those words apart. Manifest destiny. A destiny is something that was promised, you see. And a promise has to be fulfilled, you see. A destiny is something that has to happen, you see. When something is destiny, it means that it's going to happen. See, the blessings of this land were going to happen, you see. God blessed this land for the children of Israel because he promised that. Once they ran up out of the yoke of Pharaoh, he promised them this very land. And this is the promised land, you see. And it was stolen, you see. And then they erected the Jews got a charter. This is another thing, where we really, y'all ask me, what is the narrative? Okay, well, let's get that back, get to it. Charter of Liberty. Do y'all know what that is? A charter of freedom, a charter of liberty? Do you know what that is, my G? Okay, Charter of Liberty is this. This is a document that you have to be a nation, you see. See, these people who came out of this Holocaust, they got behind the British crown and was awarded a Charter of Liberty. They operate on that very charter right now. This is what makes them a nation state, you see. See, upon emancipation or proclamation, that very document was supposed to have been handed to us, you see, as well. And that document never was handed to us. We were never handed a charter to be a nation here, you see. Because, see, we are a nation within a nation who has been racially discriminating and basically trying to annihilate us from the very start of them stripping us from our land. They took it. They took it. And guess what? At this point, the jig is up. No, we're not saying, hey, we want our land, everybody got to leave. No, we need to come together as human beings right now. This is what this is about. Now, enough of the lies, enough of the stolen legacy and history and all the y'all done stole, dug down in your vaults and you're keeping and you're hiding right now that would expose you as habitual liars. Enough of this. Let's come to the round table like human beings and agree on a system that Lady Justice doesn't have to have her arm twisted behind her back and she's supposed to be holding a sword and a scale. How can Lady Justice work and her arm is twisted? The justice system is corrupt. Y'all got this woman blindfolded and her arm is twisted. She's supposed to be holding the scale. It's impossible for this very prestigious woman of grace to do her job. And her arm is twisted by her own government. I say to the government, stop twisting Lady Justice's arm. Let her arm free so that she can practice and be what she's supposed to be, you see. She can't hold the scales if y'all are twisting her arm. Justice will never prevail if y'all twisting Lady Justice's arm. She can't even use her sword correctly. What are y'all doing? Y'all trying to arrest Lady Justice? Y'all trying to put her in handcuffs too? Is this what we doing? Because this is pretty much where it's at when we look at the narrative of y'all giving the police immunity for prosecution. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are turning the clocks backwards, and I guarantee you that this is going to cause problems that will irritate a revolution in this country. So y'all might want to pump y'all brakes on such rash decisions. You know, y'all ask me what the narrative is. The narrative is that Unique Perspective is a place where the truth will always be told. And y'all ask OG Kunta, oh, he's a gangbanger. That's so far from the truth. That's only one little pebble of what God has chiseled me into, you know. You know what a stone, a sculpture is, you know what I'm saying? After the creator and his mighty hands are done with the sculpture is perfected, you see. You might see something on the sculpture as it's being sculpted that's not gonna be there the next time you look at it. So please don't judge me for the pieces that God are knocking off of me, you see. Because once I'm done, once God is done with me, I guarantee you that I'll be something marveled and respected for sure. And I give every bit of my breath, you know what I'm saying, to the cause, to seeing right prevail, to seeing this place, you know what I'm saying, a place that's safe, you know. Our safety is on the line in the belly of the beast. You know, rich people sitting in their houses secure. The police are everywhere making sure that they're safe. The police are not everywhere in my community making sure we are safe. The police are in my community making sure we stay in line. And this place is not going to change until everybody is on the same playing field with the same rights, with the same constitutional and common law rights. And this is OG Kunta, you know. But you can call me King Kunta if you want. Because when I get on here, you better believe I'm going to cook. And I challenge everybody to research everything that I've just said. And again, shout out to Donald Trump. We are Trump supporters over here. The Crips is definitely probably finna go to the White House. And that's that.
Gotta stay on my grind and get my money right. Gotta make sure me and my brothers hustle through the night. Me and my niggas, we gon' swing, we gon' blow that pipe. Hop out on your block with thunder clapping when we make it strike. Hop on feet, hop out, give 'em smoke, gon' be a can.